All right, everybody, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. I don't know where Jordan went, but there he is. He
I
switched.
am.
Yeah, see, okay. Let me tell you what. Welcome, first of all, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz, where we build the buzz about Mansfield Buzz. And Noah is our guest. Noah Watts. We'll be talking to him in a few minutes. But Jordan, see, Noah, we have to explain to you something. Jordan is a techie guy, okay, and he likes to play with stuff. So what he's done is he's obviously added a second camera, right,
hmm
Jordan? Right? You got a second
Yes. Oh,
camera.
well,
He's switching.
of
He's
course.
he's practicing switching between them. So it's really cool. So
I'll,
that's why he disappeared for a second, but he's here. So we
I'll
want
take
to
the credit,
welcome.
but actually,
Yeah.
my main camera just died. So
Well, he's back though. So there
there
you
it
go.
goes.
Hey, so guys,
There.
we do like to build a business about Mansfield business and surrounding areas, and our hosts are Jordan and Hurdie, for sure. And we always like to invite a guest on that. We're meeting a lot of our show guests through our Mansfield Network group, which we want to thank. And if you haven't participated with them, they meet every Wednesday at Dirty Job Brewing, downtown Mansfield, from noon till 1. If you want to come early, 11:30, doors open, order lunch. We'd love to have you. This is how we met Noah, and this is how Noah, we're glad to have you on the show. We're going to get to you in a few minutes, but in the meantime, Jordan, we are pretty much booked, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, through pretty much April, right? And so if you want to take a few minutes and tell folks where we can post to get invited to the show before we get with Noah, feel free to jump in.
Yes, definitely. If you want to sign up for the show with us, we have openings coming up for May. And we'll be posting those on our Facebook group, which is Mansfield Buzz. And I believe now the URL is facebook.com/Mansfield Buzz. Uh, I'll also be posting a link in the Mansfield networking group as well. So if you're from there, you can go on over there and find it there as well. And Hurdie is in the process of getting YouTube to give us permission to post that link on our YouTube channel as well. So shortly you'll have it available in YouTube as well. But it's a Calendly link that will take you to the sign up form, and everything can be handled from there. And we try to make it as easy as we can for you.
Yeah, and Jordan, I think what's great is we've had a lot of people have uh, generally been excited about what we're doing to help their business. And Noah, just to let you know, one of the things that's really cool about what we do is we are live on YouTube right now. And yes, there's a few people, but we really need folks to come to that channel, subscribe, and also hit the little thumbs up button on the videos when we're live because it helps with the algorithms. And of course, when it's over, we'll have a full archive of the show, Noah, that you can share to anybody you like, which will help your business because it's going to be answering the questions. And by the way, Google loves answers to questions when people are searching. So this is why we do it in a question format. So, Jordan, with that said, why don't you introduce Noah and take it away, my friend?
Yes, we have today Noah. And Noah, you have a really interesting business model.
Thank you.
And, from talking to you in the beginning of the show, like this is your creation, this is your brainchild, uh, which is awesome. Like usually it's a little bit less cavalier, right? But man, you went and ran with it. Even talking before we started the show, you mentioned how you have this website customly made. Like you have really gone through it and just hit it hard. So like, just walk us a little bit through this, man. Like what, you know, what possessed you to do this, and how did you come up with this concept?
So, what brought along the concept and the whole idea of it was I grew up in not, I wouldn't say the greatest environment. And, I've been around people who were on Section 8 and stuff around that realms. And everybody's trying to make money. And that's just the truth. Everybody's trying to make money. And when I was younger, I used to always watch Shark Tank and be like, man, like, I wish I was on that show. Like, it was a day that I was like, I wish I was on this show. Like, I wish I had enough money to be on that show and stuff like that. Or really, my first mindset was, I wish I could think of something to get me on that show. And I'm over here, like, going to sleep hard and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I was like, I couldn't think of anything, right? Uh, well, that's just one of what's the word? Just one of the ideas in the back of my brain. But I ended up joining the military, and I was surrounded by a bunch of people who, started giving me different business ideas, told me how to use my VA loan to get a quadruplex so I can, live in one and then rent out the other three and stuff like that. I was getting different business ideas. And I was like, man, to have these type of people in the area I grew up in would definitely lower the crime rate and like will also help more people make money. Cause I was around a lot of people that, they had great ideas. They just didn't have the money for it, and they were willing to put in the hard work, and myself included, but they just didn't have the money to it. And you over here already stressing about bills, you can't really focus on anything else. It's almost like you're in survival mode. So it was just one day I got really upset, and I was like, what is something I can create that I would never have to be back in that situation? And I kind of just used my whole life experience and just merged it all together.
That's awesome. So that I love that you're coming from a play, this is like coming from experience, right? Like this is like fulfilling a need that you have, that you've seen, you've experienced. And that's so true. Like there's sometimes, sadly, an abundance of ideas, and they just don't get connected with the right people, because if the right idea and the right backer come together, like magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, on top of that, also the fact that a lot of those people are in a catch-22. I can remember those days myself when I got laid off from corporate, right? And all of a sudden I had to start scrambling for a check that wasn't guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I had to start paying for insurance because it got canceled, right? All of a sudden, the little things I was used to paying for, like car payments and basic things, became a hassle. So I went through that too. So it took me a couple of years to figure out how could I keep my low cost down and yet keep my business at least going. Can I start with a concept that doesn't cost me a lot of money to build inventory? So yeah, good point. I just picked up on that. Jordan, sorry, go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was just kind of taking it in. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about this? About BizTrix, like we know where you came from, but then, like next step in the story is like, all right, I'm going to solve this problem. And so walk us a little bit through that.
Okay, so BizTrix is a global networking platform created to make it easier for entrepreneurs and investors to find resources, information, and funding. And by that, I mean that I basically, like, even if you work a job, right? I say this joke all the time in the Mansfield networking group. Have you ever been in a situation where you say the company tells you to do it this way, but I do it this way, and this way is a lot more efficient, and everybody starts laughing and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I tell them, obviously I'm in the right group. That there alone shows that just being a worker at a job, you still have information that can help a business grow, help a business be more proficient, help a business be more profitable. But a lot of people don't think of it like that. They just think like, oh, I'm just here, I'm just working. And you don't understand. A lot of people didn't see it, but there's a lot of times that a lot of people have the same business idea that deals with the job they're working in. And I just need to get those people connected with those people. But there's some people in life that just want to work a job. So, but also want to make more money. I know, me personally, I don't feel like I know anybody that wants to be broke. So I was like, if I could help other people make money, and if you already have a job and have disposable income, that means you've already factored in how much your bills are and stuff like that. And you can use the disposable income to help others while also knowing about the job yourself to also help, it improve. It's basically the easiest way I've been telling people is like, I'm trying to turn your average day worker into an investor and mentor, because a lot of times they don't see themselves that way.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of the times I know some of the people that I know personally, right? Like they have the desire for a business. They might even have the extra income available for something, but they just don't have the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's just like, I just need to save up for a franchise or something, like done for you kind of approach.
Myself.
Yeah. And, so then walk me through this a little bit, right? So like what this, when this question, like what this could potentially do for the average working person, like in kind of walk me through this, like from both scenarios.
Okay. So we're going to come in off the entrepreneur side, right? With that side, you have I myself included. I have ran into hiccups because the corporate world is a whole new ball field to me and stuff like that. And I'm myself to this day, I'm still running into trip hazards as we were talking about earlier, and stuff like that. So, but one thing I realized was these Facebook groups and stuff like that. They're very good at people asking questions, people answering questions because this is knowledge and a lot of people are willing to pass around knowledge, and that's one part of it for the entrepreneurs help. Also, them posting their business looking for an investor, like basically Shark Tank. So that helps them find somebody, so they take the financial load somewhat off of them, make it a little bit easier so that they're not as stressed and they can focus on their business. But I did this to help pass along knowledge, from people who know about the business, people who just in the business, and people who are just starting the business. Because I learned one thing, because this is not my first business. You are going to run in trip hazards regardless of whatever the business is. So the more knowledgeable you are about them, the easier I've realized the easier it makes it through the journey.
So Noah, the in John Maxwell's books, like the 15 Valuable Laws of Growth, one thing he says to do is fail fast. The faster you fail, the faster you're going to get successful, right? So you learn through those, right? So
Yep.
you're a resource for that, right? I mean, you're trying to show people that are starting that are a little nervous and scared, hey, here's what I went through and here's how I can help you with that, correct?
More so, not me personally, but getting more and more people on. So we're kind of building a bigger pie.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, leveraging the power of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I love this next question. So do you plan on using your own website as well?
Of course, there's still businesses. I'm really into cars, so I was going to use this not only for my car situation, because not only do I like car detailing, because I've also done that as a job too, but I want to, car design and car interiors. I want to, get custom headrests, custom steering wheels, and stuff like that, just to make it more of my own. Get the Maybach, the Starlights and everything. But yeah, I plan on using it for myself and just helping others, because I really do enjoy just seeing other people win.
And no, there's a couple people not too far from our area that are really good at the custom car stuff.
Send me that info. I'll definitely take
And one of them's on TV, and I will be happy. He's on one of the channels on TV. Is in Midlothian. I'm not going to say his name on here, but I'll send it to you. He's awesome.
I appreciate that.
Worldwide known. Worldwide known. Just so you know. Okay.
Gotcha.
So tell me about the cars. Why the cars?
Why cars? I don't know. I realized I just really like fast cars and stuff like that. Motorcycles. My dad told me, like, when I was younger, like, he would, anytime like I would cry and they couldn't get me to shut up, they would put me in the car and like he would just drive around for a little bit and then I'll go to sleep. So I guess it's from that.
That's awesome. The real answer is why cars? Why not?
Why not? Right.
Why not cars?
So if you had a favorite car, which one is it?
It depends on what era.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. So
we're talking about old time.
Are you an old muscle car guy, new muscle car guy, or are you away from those completely?
So when I get to where I want to be, I actually plan on having like a 10-car garage for that same reason. I am like a Jared Leno.
Right.
I'm not the greatest on knowing all the specs about them, but I definitely like the different varieties. But one of my old cars that I really do want is the Plymouth Barracuda.
It's an awesome car, and the fastback on that is really cool. So yeah, so I was raised around a Barracuda. Okay, enough of that. So anyhow, so Jordan, go ahead. I'll put the next question up for you. I think I just put it up.
Oh yeah. So going back to the to BizTrix, like, so how does this spark innovation and just like really foster those ideas that are coming in?
So one day I was watching Shark Tank. This was just one of the episodes. And Kevin Leary, he's really big into peanut butter. I didn't know that myself. I was just watching the episode and I saw they were talking about it. And this dude had a peanut butter pump. And I'm talking about Kevin Leary went in because they're talking about he has a community of about 1 million people that are just talk about like who are like like really big on peanut butter. Like they want to know everything about peanut butter. And me personally, I'm just like, I just get Peter Pan from Walmart and I'm cool with that. But obviously there's a whole community out there. And it just shows that, whatever idea that pops in your head or whatever you love to do, there's about like at least, and I read one time, there's about at least 1 million people that like exactly what you do. And there's always a slight connection that you can always make with other people that can help your hobby, that you could be a business. So it's like the more people that put their ideas out there and stuff like that, it will spark more people's imagination, innovation for them to like create their own thing. Because I don't know if you've seen Jimmy Neutron, but I just saw a video that was take like back in the day, and they had the motorcycle with that one big wheel around the person. And I was like, man, where is he? Because I want one of them. And I was like, but nobody ever came out with it. They all have the 2-wheel motorcycle or the 3-wheel. I don't like the 3-wheel that
much.
So you're saying, and that's a really invigorating, that's really a good point. The fact that we are connected to more people than we think.
Mm-hmm.
And something that's as little as a hobby, if we nurture it correctly and we really love it and we're passionate about it, could turn into a business, because we could be affecting that people that are looking to be a part of that kind of group, right? Or that kind of energy.
Yeah. And the other fact, and I forgot, my apologies for not bringing it up, was in the back of my head, because of my job in the Army, I could have used that peanut butter pump for a whole different thing, and not even for peanut butter. And I was like, they're marketing as a peanut butter pump, but he doesn't know that this item, this innovation he created, it could spark something else to help somebody else. And I was like, man, those are like the small little things that some people don't realize.
You tell him that
other people can find it for you.
You need to call him up and tell him that.
It's so true, though. I mean, like how many of the greatest inventions? Like it made me think of Post-its, right? Like that was a total failure. Mm-hmm. I got some right here, and like dude was trying to make a glue that wouldn't dry so quickly, and it would turn out to be super weak.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is a total failure. And some like I can't remember if it was the same person, somebody else came along. He's like, wait, no, this is great. Like this is gonna solve so many problems.
Mm-hmm. I think the same happened with super glue. It was for something else, and I forgot what it was for, but it switched over to something else too. And it was just because somebody thought like, oh, instead of using it for this, we could just switch it over for this.
Yeah, we just turned this like awesome glue that you could just apply to something, and you'll glue so fast that your fingers will get glued to it.
And you gotta step on your fingers so they get unstuck.
I know you have like that left over like for a week.
So you seem like, Noah, you have quite the thinking sort of mind, right? So when you sit down for your think time, whenever that is, this is a different question, by the way. What kind of things are you thinking about? Are you thinking way down the road? Are you thinking about how can I build this to be X amount of people? Because like you said, you just told me a minute ago you want a 10-car garage.
Mm-hmm.
So your mindset is pretty big, pretty lofty. Tell us a little bit about how you think into things and how you see the future playing out a little bit.
Well, so I'm left-handed, right? So one of the jokes my aunt makes a lot, that I'm left-handed, so I must be right-minded, because they say whatever hand you are, use the opposite side of your brain. And I kind of use both for the simple fact of, because it was always hard, and it sounds weird to say, but I've always had to, because I was like, everybody always tries, even when I played baseball, everybody tries to explain to me how they do it, but they can't really explain to me how to do it, because it's opposite for me. So I got to not only do it their way, but I got to do it my way too. So I kind of got to pull in both at the same time.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
So when you sit around and you're thinking about your business, do you journal? Do you write things down? Do you keep an authentic journal of your? There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect. And it helps, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, a lot, because I forget a lot too.
Yeah, very good. So Jordan, here you go. I've just popped the next question up for you, my friend.
Yes, this one is my favorite. Right. So what's been your marketing strategy? How are you getting the word out?
Just right now, it's really because I'm still, there's things I'm just now fixing on, because I learned these need to be fixed and transformed into this. But right now it's just show a face, because it is a subscription based website. I want people to show a face just so they know it is a trustworthy website, and I'm working my hardest not only for the not for the $20, but so they know a trustworthy place to go for information and potentially find an investor. Also, like I tell people, I was like, what do you call a W? And everybody calls it a dove, and people call $20 a dove. So I was like, you know what, might as well put both together and make it $20.
I love it. That's great.
That's awesome. So you're mostly going to networking events, just meeting people one-on-one.
Just because the thing is, have to make content off of everybody else's knowledge and everybody else's content. So it's like, since I got to do that, I got to put my face out there and stuff like that. That definitely was not my original business plan. And I'm glad I shifted it, because it's working a little bit, and I know I can make it better, but I'm glad I shifted.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I myself advise a lot of people to do, because that is like the one thing that is like, it's like Hurdie always advised, like what differentiates you. And it's like, well, your face is the first thing, right? Like nobody's got that one. And it's good to show face and really just show that you're a person and you're human and you have a personality. But I'm curious, how is that going? Especially when you're like talking about content creation, it can be a little daunting to just put yourself out there.
I wouldn't say it's going bad. I wouldn't say it's going well either. I think my idea right now is, because of the rebranding I'm doing, the revamping that's going on, I'm not having people go out there, but because of the connections I am making, I do. So I have made a lot of connections with people that are having nonprofits and that are running like networking events and events that are helping people build their business. And because I've made these connections and I've talked to people just like this, but they're like, man, I really like your idea. They was like, when it is up, a lot of these people who have gave me their number and everything was like, when it's up, let me know. And I'm gonna check it out myself. And if I like it, I definitely will push it out to the people I know. So I feel like on that side is going great. I think because of the revamping is not going so great, but the networking and the personal connections I'm making, I feel like that's going very well.
The big failure, and this just steps into my neighborhood a little bit, probably Jordan's too, is that I have to remind the clients that I started working with, hey, you are a people business, right? Mm-hmm. And the way you get business is you meet people. Social networking is great and it's good, but until you start shaking hands and building that know, like, and trust by putting your face in front of them in network groups and going to chambers or whatever groups are available, that's how you get to build the relationship part of this business, right? So, you cannot go wrong if you just went to 10 network groups every week, you know what I'm saying? Because that's putting yourself out there in front of people, and those opportunities will come as people discover and try to learn what you're trying to offer them. So, yeah, I think you're definitely on the right track. And believe me, failing fast is great. The fact that you've already recognized the rebrand tells me you've been thinking into the strategy a little bit, correct?
Yes. Okay. Very much so.
Well, Jordan, this is right up your alley.
Yeah, speaking of strategy, you probably have a very good idea of what your target market is, your target audience, and the kind of profile of people that you're probably going to be able to help the most.
So the people that I can help the most is kind of basically it's a throwback question too. Is like, do you have disposable income that you can use to help others or use to make more money? Or basically fund a business. If that's a yes, then I'm for you. Do you have knowledge that can help a business grow or help a business turn profitable? That's a yes, I'm for you. And can you gain off of somebody else's knowledge when it comes to your business? And if that's a yes, then I'm for you. So basically anybody who's trying to make money.
Yeah, anybody that's trying to make money, but is actually willing to, put their money where their mouth is, right?
No, not really, because I'm really shooting for the knowledge part. I really want to expand. I really trying to push. Yes, the investor side is great, but I'm really trying to push people for the knowledge because I want everybody to expand their knowledge when it comes to business. Because me personally, like I tell people, and I have this conversation with my mom all the time, but I let people know, like when it comes to business, if somebody is better than me, I'm not in competition with them. I just see myself as there's obviously things I need to improve on, or I can improve on to make myself better or my business better. So I'm really in competition with myself. I'm not trying to hurt that other person. I'm not trying to take away from their business. I just see that there's something I can add to mine to make myself more stand out, make myself better, and that's what I'm trying to gain. And the more we got that, the more, but that takes knowledge. And
Yeah.
so I'm really picking to get more people with that knowledge factor to help each other out. Like I said, building a bigger pie.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it sounds like you're leaning toward quite a bit of not only gaining the knowledge, but the education side of helping folks through the scare tactics they go through when they start a business. You know, how do they use that disposable income? How do they even think about what they want to do and how they get started? Right. That's always big questions for everybody. I mean, there's not a single person that doesn't start a business that doesn't go through that. They have 10 tests they have to do, right? And it's overwhelming because you got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. Jordan went through that, right, Jordan? I mean, you know that.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it was a very big learning curve because I come from a family of just like W-2 employees. So everybody's always just had a job at a company. That's just like the way you make money. And just transitioning to this like entrepreneur, like build your own business mentality. It's always something that I always wanted to do, but like I didn't even know the basics. Like I didn't even know how to like make money like legitimately, right? Like you're charging for your service, but you're also reporting taxes. And how do you even do that? Like you can open a business.
In the same boat as me.
Yeah, you gotta open a banking like a business banking account. It's like, well, you need like an EIN for that. It's like, okay, well then you start like doing all these things, and it's like, and then like, how do I bill people? How much should I charge? Like, what are the like structures? And for me personally, Hurdie was such a great advisor. I mean, Hurdie, how many years have you been a consultant?
Yeah, since 2008.
So, you know, it's just like so much wealth of experience. And he really helped me avoid some of the more common hurdles, you know, because it's important to fail fast, but you also want to fail on the things that are actually going to teach you something. And
Yes.
Learn to skip the like most common things because there's people that have trekked that path before you. It makes a huge difference. So I love that you're building that into it. You're focusing into that because like I myself could see the value, and I can see somebody that was in my shoes like a year ago. Like, yes, absolutely. Like, let's talk to people that can guide you through this process.
Yeah, for real. Because this is hard.
So
this is not full.
I kind of see you as some sort of you got the energy for sure on the passion side because of what you've been through in your life, right? And you really want to help people. Man, for me, I'm hearing some great things here. The help side, you can never go wrong. In my opinion, you can never go wrong. The minute you put yourself out there as a help and not just a business relationship, you're already a winner because people that contract us out for our services, I would say, are contracting us for the business side, but they're doing it because they feel like they know us well enough to actually come in and help them, either being critical or a huggy type of relationship, right? Because you have to be both if you're going to be good at what you do, right? You got to be able to tell people the truth. So my next question to you on a deeper level is, when I want to go back to the thinking into the target market. So if I said, Noah, tell me exactly the person you're looking for today, who would that be?
People with knowledge, people that, like I said, people that can help a business grow, people that, you know, are looking to pass on knowledge to help businesses grow. Just not only just for the business, but, you know, also help their hobby, you know, so they find their right enthusiast. Because if you love what you do, you gonna make sure that love is there.
Right.
And you want to be around the same type of people that, you know, that you connect with.
And how would you take them through that process? Just get to know them, work them through it, give them some real 1 through 10 steps, or would it be more of just, in other words, what I'm saying is, how would you charge for that service to them if you're ready for that yet? Would you give them a consulting fee, or how would you do that?
No, so that was the thing with the revamping. So the website, it's $20 just to get on the website, and after the
Ah,
$20, everything is open. I'm
gotcha.
not in your personal business. I'm not in your personal groups. It's
Perfect.
just everything is as I'm trying to make it as user friendly as possible
So
without
I love that. So
people
they're going to
questioning.
come to a site and get a ton of knowledge and learn from other experiences and people that
Mhm.
you're sharing stories with. They pay a subscription fee monthly or whatever, and then they're good. They're good. So you're kind of like got this coaching site of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And and you just keep adding that knowledge to your to the people or folks that are subscribing. That's awesome. And
Okay.
with AI today, you could do a lot of that.
Okay. I'm debating on the AI thing. iRobot still got me in a chokehold and
Hey,
stuff
no,
like
no, listen. I'm not discounting the fact that there's the scary side of it at all. I'm just saying you never want to use copyright information or make up stuff, right, to put on a
Mhm.
website, but because people's stories are more important than anything you can do. But I am saying there's tools out there that can simplify the process, the time to get those tasks done, and that's the important
Okay.
part of the AI for me. Jordan, you might agree with that. I mean, I look at tools that can get things done fast.
Oh, I use AI.
I don't care what they are, as long as they help me get things done fast, right?
I got a staff of AI. At this point, I have staff.
There's your local robot right there, Jordan. Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. I think we've kind of discussed this, Jordan, but if you have any thoughts around this question for Noah.
Yeah, the reason for starting the business, I mean, I think that's really cool. And honestly, I'd like to dig a little deeper
I
as
do
well on
too.
this because as we discussed, starting a business is difficult and it's a big learning curve, right? So there is a component of passion that goes to this that has to be there if you're going to put yourself through all of this. Like people might not think so, but it is actually easier to go find a job than to start
Nah,
a
for
business
real.
because now you're starting a business and you give yourself a full-time, like literally full-time job. So
Okay.
tell me a little bit about that fuel.
Um. So another thing I like is motorcycles. My mother hates that I like motorcycles, but I love motorcycles. Which also means that I also like dirt bikes. Well, if you've ever been in the DC area, there is not a lot of dirt bike parks. Actually, there's none. And
Yeah.
it's the fact that but if you ever look it up on YouTube, there's DC Bike Life. And if you ever seen that in the Baltimore Bike Life, there's hundreds of bikes. And it's when we start working together to build a community that deals with what you like, you start, also keeping people out the way. There's less people getting in trouble because a lot of people don't talk about it. And DC Bike Life actually had a documentary about it, and they spoke on it. They said that during this times, and I witnessed it myself, that while everybody's on these bikes, there's besides them driving through the street and stuff like that, running red lights, all that people shooting each other and people fighting, that's not happening. I said everybody's only mindset right now is let's have fun on these bikes, let's show off for these people and stuff like that. So you have, and I understand, being a regular car driver and stuff like that, why people get upset about that. But for me, being in that environment, I saw like, people be like, oh my gosh, these people are a nuisance, da da da. But what y'all don't see is the camaraderie that it brought. And I've witnessed myself the type of, and that's a business in itself. Say somebody builds a dirt bike park and stuff like that. Or one of the what they call like those car side shows when you see people doing donuts and stuff. There's not a lot of people look at it as like a nuisance, but a lot of people don't like to go deeper into the situation and be like, what has it prevented? And that's what I'm really trying to work my hardest to bring down the crime rate while also not taking away people's fun. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so again, you're going back to a community thing
Mm-hmm.
that you said earlier, and for some reason that has stuck with me, in that if you have a hobby that's popular or a hobby that other people are connected to, the idea is to try to find a way to get that connected to those people to come up with some sort of business plan or strategy for a business around that hobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there's race car schools, and I think there's motorcycle race car schools, and I think there's dirt bike tracks to practice on. By the way, just so you know.
I ain't
That's
against it,
that's
but
my opinion. It's all good.
no,
It's
I'm
all
not mad
good.
at it.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing
That's
with
good, but because like I say, I understand it myself. You know, being a car driver, like when I got a license and everything, I do understand the nuisance too. Because it's like you rather them have a safe place to do it, but a lot of people don't tell people. Like when they start building up these residential areas, they start condemning a lot of these racetracks, and it's like because they don't have the big community to fight against it or to go elsewhere
Yeah,
or bring
I
people
agree with
elsewhere.
that. I
Yeah.
agree with that. So I think that you've got some great ideas, with the
Thank you.
business, right? I think that the connection thing is important. I think the knowledge thing is important, and I think if you need me or Jordan to help get you in going in some direction, I'll be happy to put in some time with you at
I
no
appreciate
charge.
it.
Just simply because I like to see startups, and it won't be a lot of detailed stuff, but the fact that you're kind of in a knowledge. Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of see Noah as kind of a coach site, a community site, an education site where there's these three gamuts or phases that people can dive into and just kind of go deep right into an area. And to me, that might be attractive. I kind of see that as a wagon wheel, with
Appreciate
these
it.
spokes coming off of it with different genres of knowledge and content that people can tap into. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
sharing. Thanks for
It's
sharing.
so it's so genius to align the hobby side of things with the business side of things, which is brilliant, right? Like we all have those weird quirks. Like I think all of us do. We like one thing that nobody else does, and you don't want it to go away. And it's just like I mean, for like I guess I have a really weird. I mean, this is like going to sound it is weird. I guess I have a weird taste in granola because every time I like a brand of granola, like it gets discontinued. And I'm like, come on, that was so good. Like,
See the thing, yeah, you sound so like my mother because my mother has a thing like they do olive oil tastings. I'm like, what? No,
What? No,
and
I'm
vinegar
out.
taste. I was like,
I'm out. I'm out.
but like if I could find a group of it's like this granola is incredible, and it just gets discontinued because it didn't get enough, like, like it just didn't make the numbers right. And it's like, man, but I really like it. If I could find other people that just like I can find my crew, my tribe of
yeah,
granola loving people
not
that it's
every
just like let's get together and put in orders so this company can survive. Like I'll buy your next month's like supply and I'll be set.
I be trying to tell people not every business needs to be $1 million business. Sometimes, it's only $100,000 business, but not only does it bring you income, you also enjoy it. And I saw a post recently. It said, work to make money for what you love or somebody else will. And that's kind of like goes into inflation. And I was like, man, people started doing what they love, the inflation situation wouldn't be as bad as it is now. So it's also the way to help on both ends.
Yeah, and I think that's a powerful statement. Powerful statement in itself, no, is the fact that yeah, you can't go wrong, and somebody will. Believe me, your idea, if you don't move on it, it's already been taken. Another example of what you've been talking about today. I just was thinking through this as we've been talking on the broadcast, and that is, I one time had a YouTube client that was in a pretty saturated market, meaning that there was a million people already on it. All the questions he asked were already taken. It's like he was just putting himself in a pile of noise, and it still was going to be a pile of noise no matter how much we made that channel rock with great video content or whatever. So the suggestion was, after we thought about it, was, why don't you build a channel around your hobby, around something you love to do, and let that naturally attract people to what you do. And so this person decided to go out and cover every local barbecue place in his area, interview the owners on camera, and talked to him and eventually had a channel of all the barbecue places that he loved to go to.
And
Had nothing to do with the business.
He pulled a Guy Fieri.
built a community around that. Right. So it's been forever. That was back in like 2008, 2009. But my point is, there are times when we have to use there are times when maybe our hobby can become a way to generate our business, right? In what we really do. So you got me thinking about some stuff today. So thanks for being on, Jordan. Any follow-up stuff?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, just tell us a little bit about like how people can get in touch with you. I mean, after this, the beauty of this podcast is that the archive will be in YouTube and on Facebook forever, right? Like
forever.
long after we're gone, it's still going to be there
forever.
So for people that are watching it now and the people who are going to watch it later, like how can they get in touch with you?
My email, Noah, Noah, at biztrix.org, biztrix.org. You can also get in contact with me through my social medias. Right now I have Twitter, well, known as X now, but it's in both of them for Instagram and Twitter is BizTrix, at BizTrix LLC.
Perfect. That's great. So Noah, thank you for being a guest on the Mansfield Buzz today. Jordan,
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And Jordan is a great host. And thank you, Jordan, for tying down the show like you always do. And listen, guys, we are live every Thursday from 2 to 3. And Jordan's going to be putting up some more of the sign-up list. We're slowly building the channel on YouTube. Make sure you go and subscribe if you listen to this live or on the archive, and make sure you hit the like button, the thumbs up button when you're listening to it. That helps with the algorithm. And we will get this Noah optimized up on YouTube for you, and then give you the link. Feel free to share it with all your friends. Jordan, any final thoughts before we jump off today?
No, that encompasses it. Thank you, Noah. This has been wonderful, and I'm excited for you, dude. This sounds super cool.
Appreciate that. Once again, thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, thank you. And we'll catch you next Thursday at 2 p.m. right here in the Mansfield Buzz on YouTube Live.